Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to start in a couple of minutes. We're just getting connected, and Mayrene's getting things up on the big dashboard. And let's see how. So Chanel is with us online, VD and Rianne. Uh, yeah, and great, Mayrene. Um, so let's see. I'll shut the. Um, would you be able to sit just next to her over there? Great, thanks. That's good. Then we got a feeling of a class. But great. Okay. Excellent. So we're getting all lovely. Okay, I think we can probably start and let me just see. Am I going to use my glasses today? No, I think I can see this without my glasses. Excellent. Okay. Very good. And we're good? Yeah, we're all excellent. Welcome, everyone, to Humanity's Destiny, our Wednesday journey into the human future, the human future on planet Earth. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to, with your work as teams or pairs, we're going to do some research together, and then we're going to put up on the smartboard into the notes what we think is going to be the next big thing. Now, I will define what I mean by next big thing momentarily, but that's going to be the central thrust of today's class, is to determine what we think is coming that's really important, that's going to change our lives. And I'll lecture on that a little bit before we start. What I'd like to do in terms of any class is always do a little review at the beginning and look ahead as well. And I also would like to give Mayrene a chance to do some updating too, because we have lots of things developing that she's working on outside of the classroom, including Expo. And I also want to tell you about Repair Cafe, because when we talk about next big things, I think it's important for you to appreciate, or at least feel, that when you enter this space, your professor and the team here are also working on what they think will be the next big things, like the global classroom, like the Repair Cafe. So I need to tell you about Repair Cafe because you may want to participate in it, but I'll get to that, okay? Uh, so we're good. Would you be able to come sit just closer? You don't have to sit on the couch, but it's great if you could, or just exactly. That way we see, show them a self view for a moment, because what we're trying to create is the feeling, and go for the full, is this class is a bit like television. Come on in. And I confess that I had a long career as a television producer and director before I entered the classroom about 15 years ago. So I bring all sorts of production experience and skills to this. The recording that we do has to look really good, because there are a lot of people watching the recordings only. And in order to make sure everybody feels connected to this class in the recording, it's important that they see people here. And that's why I try to structure it so that you're here in the circle. But even if your heads are seen at a seat behind, it oh, see, there's a couple of empty. Just a second. Let's try and fill this. Is it possible we can get just in these two, and then we've got a feeling of a class? It's okay. You're good today. Okay. Who can go? Somebody sit two here, and then somebody there, and you won't see the back of your head. You will not be a talking head today. You will just be a head. But if not, then uh, could could you come and sit there? And yeah, great. and then otherwise, we're good. I won't force anybody, but I just want you to see why, because it gives a feeling of a class. So let us come on in, and why don't you just grab a seat right in between? There we go. Nice. Now we've got a sense of people here. So before Maureen comes and does a little bit of updating, is there anything that you would like to bring to the class's attention? Anything that you'd like to say at this point? Colin, are you good? And I pronounced your name correctly? Good. I'm getting used to seeing you. And hello? Yeah, I know Jazeel very well from others. And then Piyush, Pyush, P-I-Y-U-S-H, Piyush. Piyush, Jazeel, Hillel, Colin in the inner circle, and oh, 206 students this semester. It's, huh? Oh, Macausia. Way to go. See, I can remember. Way to go. Uh, so unless you have nothing to say, I'll just speak to one little bit of housekeeping, and then Maureen's going to come and do some reviewing. Your participation marks, in terms of how that's working so far, everything is starting to move as it should. The discussion board is working, and even for the discussion board for this class, discussion board 4, I think I've got it even formatted a little better, so it's easier to use. But it's basically the same as what you've been using. So that's great. You're all posting your questions and your reasons. Uh, and I will be uploading all of the marks to DC Connect soon, but you should see, some of you may see marks already. You're 3 out of 3 for each of the classes if you've been coming, but definitely everybody will see for class 2, 3 out of 3, because that's the class where everybody got 3 out of 3, because I forgot to tell you to post a question. But some of you may be seeing marks for participation 1 and participation 3, and that's because I'm getting up to speed and checking all of your questions and what have you. So everything is getting updated on that, and soon you'll be able to see in pretty quick time, within a few days, the participation marks there for you at your end. So we are now in class 4, and today, of course, there is the question, if you are here in person. And I'm getting better at watching the recordings and knowing who is here in person, so I can connect the question to the comment in the discussion post. And I know that Colin, for example, or Macalcia or Jazeel, they were here. That's why they just posted a question, and they get 3 out of 3. And I noticed that some of you who are online synchronously, you are choosing to do the full mark part, which is great, which is you're doing what the asynchronous students are doing, is doing those 175 to 200 words, and that's great. So I'm getting up to speed. The only thing I'm just having a little trouble with is I need to just get a little bit of tracking so that people are not cheating. I really don't think you're going to be cheating. I'm always prepared to see the better angels of our nature and be optimistic. However, it is a reality. There will be students who cheat, and I'll do my best to catch them. Okay, Colin. What's that? Well, think of it. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's my issue: is I'm trying to take attendance for everybody, and there are 3 ways of participating in the class. And I also want it to be tied to some kind of discussion post. So just having an attendance sheet is not the best way. But well, help me for a second, because Colin, I'm always ready to. I'm trying to develop absolutely, an efficient way so it's not possible to cheat at all. So what would you suggest, Colin?
So if we have an attendance sheet,
Yes.
those in person put their names down, say I'm here,
Yep, yep.
attendance sheet, and then you can use that instead of trying to track them
Yeah, yeah,
through video.
absolutely.
It's easier.
You're right. You're right. Maybe I will do that actually. Macalcia? Thanks, Colin. Yeah.
The only thing with an attendance sheet is someone can write someone's name down for them and they're not here, right? I mean,
Mhm.
like it's a big cohort, right? Like you have like how many classes? A lot.
But then there's the discussion post that you have to make. So but you're right. Let me just make sure. So I want to make sure that this is a system that honors all the people who are doing the work and coming to class, because I don't feel that anybody who cheats should be allowed to, because it means that it's taking away from what you've done and it's making it too easy for them. Of course, I want to catch this. So um, if somebody puts down their name in this attendance sheet or puts somebody else's name down who wasn't here, if that person doesn't post a question on the discussion post, then I will know that that person was never here.
But here's the thing: they can, yeah, okay, but like with handwriting, like your handwriting doesn't stay the same every single time. It changes. Same, it's the same with your signature also. And let's say I write his name down on the attendance sheet, right?
Yes.
But he still does the discussion for the 3 marks, which is just like asking one question instead of like doing like the asynchronous one where you're like giving a paragraph practically about what was like taught in class. Because I could just like react
Sure,
to
sure.
everything to him and be like, "Oh yeah, we did so and so in class. Let's ask the question on that." So basically, it's about someone and like they're just honoring like what they're doing.
I'm thinking, okay, Calcia, let's give Faith Lynn and Colin, and then we'll move on. But let me give this some thought, because I appreciate your suggestions on how to make this a better system. But it's a bit of a work in progress. Faith Lynn?
Instead of like letting people write down their own names and potentially another person that's not here, why don't you just like call people's names?
Hmm.
And then, you know,
This is not a bad idea. Just a second. So,
and then you can like call the people, check on the
yeah, and then all I have to do is go back to the recording and I listen to their names and for 30 seconds, and then I check and see the discussion post. Did Faith Lynn Faith Lynn says Faith Lynn, and then I check and see discussion post. Faith Lynn, definitely. And then I do the same with Colin, and by calling out names, I get to learn their names too. I kind of like this. Hillel? Hmm, hmm,
There you go.
yeah.
The easier way I think you can do it is using a spreadsheet. You
Yes.
can use a reusable spreadsheet for each and every week, right?
Yes.
You can have it so you can have the student's name and then attendance. You can set up four types of attendance: in person, asynchronous, the recording,
Yes.
and then if they just didn't participate at all. And then you can just quickly go through them. Like you can just have like, oh yeah, number one is associated to you being in person, two
Yeah.
is asynchronous, so on and so forth. And you can just quickly get through the attendance in like five, not even 5 minutes, right? And then once you can just refer back to it whenever you want.
Well, I actually have something like that already. If I showed you my spreadsheet, you would see it's very close to that. But I don't want to put the spreadsheet up on the video wall because there's also personal information in there about students that I receive emails about. I'm going to try Faith Lynn's idea
Yeah.
right now. And here we're going to do this, okay? And then maybe at the end of the class, I also do the same thing just to see if the people who were here at the beginning are still here at the end, that they didn't just disappear 5 minutes into the class after they said, I'm here. That used to happen because I would be over here with my back sometimes to students, and then I'd turn around and there would be students gone sometimes. Well, I'm going to try. What's that?
not sheet.
it's just getting too involved. But you're right. But I love that. So here we go. Okay. So note to self on recording. Here is attendance. Class 4, Humanities Destiny. And in person, there is Faith Lynn. And then there is, who's here? What's your name? Abhijit. Is it, I forget the last name. I know it's there. Thank you, Abhijit. Good. Then Macalcia. She's here, and she's definitely present. She's always present. Colin's here. Hillel's here. Sandram. Oh, Sangam. 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 Jazil's here. Piyush is here. Is it Vanch? Yeah, Vanch. And then we have a new face. Is this face, are you registered in the course? It's okay. You can bring anyone you like. You could bring your dog because humanity. We want to have a good class. It's always. What's your name? Okay, Loma. Note to self: Loma is not registered in the course, so don't worry. And Loma's. I'm not going to ask her to remove her headset because she's not officially in this class. But it's okay. Just keep it low. Yeah, not a problem. Nice. Okay. What's your name? Elizabeth. Elizabeth is here. Ramash. Sumas. How do you spell that? Sumash is here. Ida. Ethan, of course. Sujal. How do you spell that? Sujal. This is like old days when I used to do. I like this because it's, yes? Ashley? Ashley. Victoria. So Ashley, Victoria, Sujal, and then Archer. How do you spell that? Nice. Archer. I like that. Archer. Yeah. Okay, and then finally walking in right now, he's officially in attendance. What's your name? Tyreek Mackenzie. Right, good. I feel like this is a courtroom. All rise. Okay. And then, of course, maybe, and then online in the Cosmos, who do we have? We have Chanel, Navpreet, Rianne, Vidi, and Mukesh. There's our attendance. Now, thanks to Faith Lynn, I can now, after watching this in the recording, I just go straight to the discussion post and I will see who's posting and who isn't, and you get your marks. That was easy. Hillel.
Really quick.
What's that?
You took less than like 3 minutes to do that.
Next week it's going to be faster.
Yeah.
Because we had a discussion, we had a brainstorm. Okay? Faith Lynn, you promise you come next week? We may have to tap into your brain some more for ideas. Okay? I like saying your names, and it gets people listening, and too much writing and emailing, and oh God. Okay, excellent. So now let's begin the class. Let's bring Maureen up. Bring her a microphone. She'd like to do some updating for all of you, and there you go.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So updates on the expo. We're officially at 200 days to the event. So that's one of the milestones for today. And a lot of the pavilions are kind of gearing up to present next year at the World Expo. I've received emails from a bunch of you regarding participation for it. So there's nothing yet. I will get back in touch with you. And other than that, I don't know if the students in this class will be interested for the expo class we're having in the global leader class next week. But me and a few friends that were at the at the last World Expo will be joining live and virtually
Mm-hmm.
for the for an expo update and a recollection kind of class.
Did we told you all about Expo, right? We better have, because in humanity, good. Okay.
And then we have our social media channels going on. If anyone wants to follow, we are hoping for events like film screenings and both in person and virtual. So if you're able to join and let your friends know, that will be great.
Excellent. Any questions? for Maureen or anything related to all the things we're doing around the global classroom and humanity's destiny? Remember, I teach three things in this space: the story of humanity on planet Earth. Who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Who are we as global leader? Where do we come from? That's short history of the world. And humanity's destiny is where are we going? And then around that, we have all sorts of other activities, all in aid of helping you to really develop your sense of global thinking in a much more rigorous and sort of positive way. Great. Then I'm going to move on. Essentially, what I'd like to do today, by way of reviewing, is show you something that's called Repair Cafe. And this is by way of reviewing, but also looking ahead a little bit. We're about to undertake a class today where we're going to be looking at what we often call in popular culture the next big thing. And if I were to define the next big thing, I would define it, and I'll write this on the board for all of you shortly. Something is coming, something new is coming in your life that's going to change all of our lives in varying degrees all over the world. Something's coming, something new. That's how connected we are today, and that's how much things are changing in the world. And it could be anything. But we're going to drill down on that some more together to understand what I mean by the next big thing, but mostly what you think is coming in terms of the next big thing. One of the big things that I will be mentioning more and more in today's class as we discuss is this idea of space exploration around building a human colony on Mars. Humans going to Mars. And I will be talking a little bit today about a book called A City on Mars, but it's not quite what you think in terms of the title. It's Can We Settle Space? Should we settle space? And have we really thought this through? Space exploration is going to emerge more and more in this class through the semester as sort of the next big thing. Something may happen in space exploration. We get to Mars, we build something on the moon that could very much affect our lives down here. But Mars is a place that many people who think about the future are talking about more and more as a place that in your lifetimes, and certainly in your children's lifetimes, humans are going to get to, and humans are going to stay there, and they're going to build something there. And this is interesting in terms of humanity's destiny. So, in terms of Repair Cafe, I want to tell you something about what I think a big thing is that's happening right now, and maybe it will become even more popular. I'm going to show you a video, okay? And you're going to see me in the video, and just watch the video. It's just 2 minutes. And then I'm going to introduce something to you about Repair Cafe that could be tied to your final assignment with marks on it. But first, just watch this video, and we're going to have a little quick discussion about it, and then we're going to move on to our activity. Okay, so the next little installment. They can sit with Pixar, have some coffee, have some pastry, and learn and watch how something is actually fixed. What happens is, as the person runs, the brake pads wear down, and such a great initiative. People just following stuff. It's very empowering. It gives people a sense that they can actually take control of those objects in their lives and hold on to them and understand them and get inside them, and it gives things more meaning.
Planetarium. Small, it'll project stars onto the ceiling. It wasn't rotating, and now there's nothing wrong with it. Here's the pouch. It required taking apart to the total ignorance.
When you feel like you understand what a motherboard is inside your computer, when you can take apart your toaster, when you can learn how to fix your tire on your bicycle, these are things that give you a sense of self-control and a sense of accomplishment. And it's not just about bringing your item in and giving it over to somebody to fix, or you just go away somewhere. This is about you learning how to fix things around you. And that could be a metaphor for fixing things in your life. Love to kind of just sit and hang out and soak up the bottom. I often say to people, this may sound a little corny, but what you see when you walk in here is humanity at its best. Great. So, first, let me just ask you something about what you just saw, and then I'm going to tell you what I think could be a real opportunity for you if you would like to take this opportunity. First, just raise a hand if you like sort of fixing things, tinkering with things, fixing. Yeah, right. Okay, so for those of you who just, and online, if you like fixing things, just raise a hand digitally, and I'll make sure that we can connect with you too. And for all of you watching the recording later who've gotten past the note to the self, and you're actually watching the class, I think you want to hear what we're going to discuss in a moment. And for those of you who didn't raise your hand, I think you might start to like fixing or be interested in fixing. There is an organization that started in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, about 20 years ago. And a journalist there thought that wouldn't it be cool if you could bring people who like to fix things together with people who need things fixed. And it could be anything, any household item that you can carry with you to this event. And gradually, these repair cafes started to pop up around the Netherlands, particularly in Amsterdam, great city, and around the Netherlands, in community centers and churches. And once a week or once every couple of weeks, there would be 15 or 20 people who love to fix things. They'd come together, and there would be a lineup of people outside with things that they wanted fixed, and they would come. And when the event began, they would sit with an individual fixer, whether it was a person who likes computers or a person who understands appliances or someone who mends clothes, and you would sit with your item that you brought to be fixed, and you would watch the person fixing it and learn how to fix it yourself. And at the same time, you have a cup of coffee and a pastry or two, and spend a good few hours on a Saturday afternoon with this great kind of atmosphere. Well, this thing has started to grow. It had started to grow, and eventually it reached Canada. And my wife, she read about the Repair Cafe in Amsterdam, and she said, we should start one here. Well, cut to today. Repair Cafe Toronto is now very active. If you go to the website, you will see that it has a huge network of volunteers. It gets featured regularly in newspapers, CBC radio, television. It's done all sorts of stuff. That was just one of many media that have come to a Repair Cafe in Toronto. And essentially, it turns out, we've learned, there's a whole subculture in the world today, all over the place, of people who love to fix things. And the world needs to be fixing things. We've got to stop throwing things out. Not only should we stop throwing things out so we don't get more garbage and more problems for our environment, but the mindset of healing and repairing is actually quite important for humanity's destiny. In case you've not noticed, there's a lot of war going on right now in the world. And if you're not part of those wars, anytime you turn on the news or just even locally, it seems like humans are attacking humans a lot, whether it's online or whether it's much worse with guns, knives, and what have you, or even cars. My wife and I learned yesterday in our area in Hyde Park, somebody was hit and killed by a car. It's like we've been having so many accidents, and there have been murders in the area, and it's just drug problems. If we're going to have a future, we've got to fix things and heal things, not kill things, not fight things all the time. We need to come together and work together, and that's what Repair Cafe is. So I'm going to make a proposal to anybody here who's actually interested. No pressure. Nobody's going to be penalized if they say they don't want to do this. I would like to start a Repair Cafe in the global classroom, another location. There are locations all over the place now, but let's start one here. Been meaning to for quite a few years. And by way of doing that, I'd like to make a proposal. If there are any of you who would be interested in becoming part of the Repair Cafe that begins at Durham College, that kind of brings together the Durham College and Ontario Tech community and others, I'll bring all the fixers in who like to fix things, put them in here as we do with all of our events, and have all people lined up out there with lamps and laptops and, sentimental objects and everything. And we just have a great Repair Cafe, the first one in December. And then we might have more going in the new year. If you would like to be part of that, then here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to put some marks to this. I'm prepared to say to any of you who are serious about this, that for your final assignment, which is the only major assignment you're going to do in a generally easy workload in this course, it's designed that way. I put all my energy into the classes. I don't have time to be marking a lot with 200 students. So the only big assignment is the final assignment, worth 30%. I'm prepared to say that if you wanted to get involved in putting together this Repair Cafe in December at Durham College for the first time, and you were serious, we could design your final assignment around that, where you would have to report back on how that went, how it went with the team that you put this together with, and then how the event itself went too. And that would be your final mark. I would assess it in exactly the same way I'm assessing all final assignments. You'll see the marking scheme in the assignment sheet when I post. If you were interested in that, then on October the 19th, Saturday, October the 19th, we're having a big event at the Toronto Public Library, the Reference Library in Toronto. Do any of you, do you know Toronto? Raise a hand. Or, do you know Bloor and Young? There's a big library, the Toronto Reference Library. It's going to be there. We do the Repair Cafe there twice a year. And imagine the atrium at the library there and all that filled with fixers and people coming in. It's a great event. If you are interested in, for your final assignment, doing a Repair Cafe here, then you could come to the October 19th event to do some research, to learn how it's done. And I'll be there, the team will be there, my wife will be there, and there will be others there. Is it clear? You get it? So here's the part that I don't want you to feel any pressure for. How many of you right now, in person, in the class right now, hearing this, would be sort of interested in maybe going down this road, having this as your final assignment, coming to the October 19th event and starting to do some research? Just raise a hand. Sort of interested, really interested? Okay, so hold your hands and wave. Note to self. See, this idea of yours is a good idea, you know. I just give notes to the thing, the camera. Okay, note to self, hands up right now for, like, hand definitely up. Faith Lynn, Archer, Macalcia, Ethan, and Sangam. And then sort of interest, it was Ramesh. Okay, thank you. I'll let you know more about this, okay? I guarantee you that if you do this for your final assignment, it's going to be worth your while in terms of understanding how we can deal with sustainability in a more creative way in the future, which is fix more, heal more in a very experiential way. And you're going to understand by talking to people at this event something that's called the circular economy. Have any of you heard of that term, the circular economy? Let me just write this down, okay, and make sure. And let's see if anybody, if you're interested, Chanel, Napreet, Vidi, Mukesh, in the Repair Cafe, just put it in the live chat, okay? And we will follow up with you. But let's write down something today as we come. Here we go. The circular economy. Okay. Great. Oh, look at that. Nice. Maureen got on the preset. Watch this. I'm going to teach to that now, but I'm talking to you. But I'm talking to them. But I'm talking to myself too. It's everything, right? Okay. So, what's the circular economy? Somebody raised a hand. I saw Faith Lynn, I think, noob. But is there anybody else here who can explain what circular economy is? And for those of you online, you can go to the live chat now or jump into on your microphone and tell us. And for those of you watching the recording, you have lots of time to reflect. You don't have to say anything. Okay, then I'll give you the answer and we'll move on. The people behind the Repair Cafe and who think in these ways about repairing more than buying more. Repair what you have. Don't just keep running and buying new things and throwing them out. They believe, and I completely believe this too, humanity's destiny might be a world without waste. Now let's understand this for a moment, okay? What that means. There's no more garbage. There's no such thing as garbage anymore. But let's what does this mean and why when a world without waste. No more garbage. Now, what does that mean? Makausi, do you want to could you give her the mic, Faithlin? Great. This is interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
It's not more so I'm answering the question. It's a question for you or for the class, right?
Yes.
What would you classify as waste? Because if we look at it, right, every single thing that is thrown out eventually is recycled. Okay? Whether it is like recycled and like refurbished and it's brand new, or it's just like recycled for someone else's use,
Yes.
every single thing that's thrown out is recycled. Even like the waste in like the sewage system, eventually it is used for a different purpose. So what exactly the definition of waste?
Well, let me first say as gently as I can, but to get the facts straight, you're wrong. Everything is not recycled. Now, I'll give you an example, and then we'll move on. But I mean, this is great what you're saying, but I have to make sure you understand. Plastic. You throw plastic out, plastic is very often not recycled and just sits in what's called a landfill, and just grows and it doesn't degrade. It's not biodegradable. And what's happening is with all this plastic that we used that's sitting out there, it's getting into our water, it's getting into our soil, it's getting into rocks even, and it just sits there. And it takes hundreds of years, sometimes more than that, for it to disappear. And I think with plastic, and I may be wrong, it may take a lot longer than that to ever disappear. It may not ever disappear completely. I wish, Macalcia, everything were being recycled, but it's not. Okay? But think of it. Do you want to say something? And then I'm going to tell you about the vision here that is really interesting about a world without waste. Macalcia, yeah, go ahead.
I guess it's a world where that garbage is not like put into like areas where it's detrimental to
Where
it.
it,
Isn't detrimental or damaging the environment.
for sure.
In a controlled environment where we actually just use it again.
That's the circular economy. That everything that we wear, everything that we use goes back and is repurposed, is recycled, is repaired, and is reused. And everything is just circulating in a circular economy. And there's no more waste, Macalcia. Everything is a resource. It just gets reused. So Repair Cafe is part of that vision. And that could be, that might be a next big thing coming in the next 20 or 30 years that we're going to get better at recycling or repairing, and so that we can eliminate landfills that are filled with so much waste, or that we can get carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere from our internal combustion engines and use that carbon dioxide for something else instead of it sitting in the atmosphere and making everything warmer. Maybe. Calcium? Microphone? Okay. So,
What if the next big thing is the way we cut down our dependency and how we use all of these things and just like go back to how it was before we got like all of these things we're dependent on. Like what if that's the next big thing? I mean like it's gonna take some time for people, especially like for people of my generation to like adapt to the change, right? For example, I don't know, I don't okay. I don't know like what was like before my time, right? Okay, like for example, yeah, horses, right? As like a major mode of transportation, right? Like,
yeah.
how about like, what if we cut down our dependency on like our mode of transportation, like us using like cars to go back and forth? And you're like, oh yeah, they're changing like the way cars are manufactured or whatever, right? But it's still not good in a sense.
Well, I would say to you, and then we're gonna move on. I want to get you set up for your activity because we have a lot to think about. This is not about Repair Cafe. This class today, it's just an introduction to an idea of something you can be involved in. But we have a lot to cover. Macalcia, just for a moment, I'm gonna take this away from you. Mm, no, but maybe I'll take this.
Okay.
Now, how many seconds could you live without these things? How long do you think you could, realistically? The rest of the day?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't think so. Uh, I'm ready to put some money on it. And I just a second. I don't have any money. I just have plastic. Damn. What happened to paper and coin? Plastic. So this is all connected to machines and there's, okay, just a second. If you could live without these until the end of the day, um, I'll buy you a Timbit. You don't eat Timbits. I get you a football, a fruit bowl. I like that. Yeah, yeah. And as long as the fruit that was put in that bowl has come through a system where it hasn't been stored for too long, and maybe the orange and the apple and the strawberry were picked by people who are being paid properly, and that those fruits were not put in a place where they have been sprayed with chemicals to make them stay fresh, and only if the plastic that bowl comes in could degrade so fast that it would never pile up in the environment, then maybe I would agree to a fruit bowl. Okay, I could be. I could be, yeah. Please tell me how my say it into the microphone, okay? I don't think she can live without these things for to the end of the day, even the next 2 hours, honestly. But yeah,
Okay, okay. For example, our source of communication, right? Like it's the way we communicate with people. Like if that changes, well, that shouldn't change in my personal opinion because it's like it's resourceful. But like, okay, let's say the way we go about like eating, like we eat healthy and we live like a healthy lifestyle because like before like every single thing was processed and whatnot. Like people of like a past generation.
that's healthy. Big Turk. Yeah. Okay. Whoops.
See?
Excuse my language. That's not good. Just a second. Let me take that out because that fell on the ground. Okay. You see, he understands. And because I haven't really eaten yet. I guess I better not eat that yet. It's a Turkish delight. It's caramel.
5 second rule.
I have no idea how this was made, and even if this is real, I haven't checked the
That's
ingredients.
the thing,
I
though.
could be ill soon.
Like majority of the stuff are processed. Like everything is processed, right? And I guess it's because like it's deemed more resourceful in a sense, right? But before, I don't want to say in your time, right? But like when you were younger,
Oh, this
where
tastes awful.
like majority of the stuff that you ate or had, like was it processed?
I thought it was going to be caramel and be sweet. What's the best before date on this? Okay, I'm sorry. It's okay. That part is all right. Just I'm going to give you back this for now,
Okay.
and I'm going to say that you were brave to do what you're prepared to do.
Yeah.
You are brave. Unfortunately, I don't have the money right now, disposable income, to pay you what I think you should be paid if you won this end of the bet. So I'm not going to step into something that I can't deliver on, which is I don't want to make a commitment that I can't actually meet, which is the money.
Wasn't the bet. I can like guarantee you, like honestly, like we're human beings, right? If we find stuff to like occupy our time, we won't even realize that we need this, right? Because like when we were children, before we got phones and whatnot, we were playing or like we were playing with like playing by ourselves or playing with our friends or whatever. We didn't need like technology to like occupy our time.
Unfortunately, we need technology to live now.
Yes, we do, but like we don't need it to like be the center of our life or the center of our like like if we all check our phones and like check our screen time, it's ridiculous.
Okay, let me stop because I want to make sure, Faithlin, hold your question. Do you want to say, you have a comment? Okay, good. I want to make sure the students who are, have not been contributing get to contribute. And then I want to move on to the big part of the class, which is we have to define, Mikhail said, what we think is coming in the next 20 to 30 years. Something's coming that's going to change our life, and it probably will be in the realm of technology. Okay? So, but just a second. We have to figure out what we think that, go ahead. We need to hear you because you're making sense. Okay, and can you come? Yeah, go ahead. Just so they can hear you. Way to go. You're welcome to sit. Good. Thank you. And it's karaoke. Okay, speak into it, and and everybody can hear you. Great, go ahead. Way to go.
Yeah, it comes down to your culture, your lifestyle, your community, your daily habits, what you're comfortable with, how much you actually need electronics. Yes, in this lifestyle, in this community, in how anybody in the next 25-kilometer radius is going to be dependent on cell phones, laptops, and these things a little bit more because that's how we have to sustain our living,
Yes,
our
yes.
safety, our entertainment, all aspects. But now, if I drive, I lived in the bushes 2 hours away. There was nothing out there. You really didn't need electronics.
You lived in the bush, or you live?
Yeah, I lived in the bushes.
Bush, so you've been.
Bushes is like that
Wow.
land.
Way to go! You so you understand nature.
So when I was out there, I didn't need it because you could wake up, you could go outside, go on a beautiful walk. But that's also because certain things are there. Like as a woman, when I was living in the bushes, there wasn't a whole bunch of people by me, so I can go outside and I
Yes.
can go take a walk and put down my phone. In Toronto, I cannot do it. It is safer for me as a woman to have a phone on me and have contact and
Exactly.
resources because you don't know what's going on. Even just guys,
Safer.
right? A guy could look at another guy
Sure.
downtown and be like, "I just want a problem today." That's
Absolutely.
not going to happen when the closest person to you is 100 kilometers. So it is about where you're from, what you're used to, what you like, and what you don't like, right? So in the context of if you are a really techie person, yes, the big thing that next going to happen in your world will be technology based.
Yes.
But if it is not, then it will not be. Even down to when you were talking about the space exploration.
Yes.
If you are interested in space, you will explore that. I watched or read an interview. There was an actor. He was really, really giddy and happy. He was a very, very theatrical actor, and he went to space and he came back and he killed himself because space is pure darkness. So before we talk about living on Mars, you have to find people comfortable enough to last the darkness it would take to not only get there but live there.
Okay, let me stop you for a sec because what you say is terrific, and I can't tell you as a professor, a teacher, to walk into a class and get students engaged in the ideas at this level. It it just makes my day. Okay, so there and but also the way you're explaining it. You know, you're explaining it well, and there's a lot of energy, a lot of good insight. First, what's your name again? Elizabeth. Okay. So I just want to stop for a second and make sure we stay on focus. I'm going to say, before we come back to Elizabeth and we get into the big activity, I'm going to make a statement for you today to help us with the activity. I wanted to have an activity where you work in teams and do research and you look into what you think the next big thing will be. And I can define it better for you. And then we would take it up. I'm going to make a statement now that will help facilitate this activity. And I'll come back to Elizabeth. I'm going to say that I think the next big thing, based on the way the world has been going, will come from the field of technology. There's something coming in technology. The pandemic was a big thing. It changed all of our lives in varying degrees all over the world in real time. That was health. The next big thing could come from the spirit world. It could come from religion. It could come from science. It could come from any area that will affect us all in this global world. But I'm going to say, based on the way things are going, it's very likely to come from tech. And then we're going to come back now to Elizabeth, because I think you can help us with this. And we'll get into our teams in a moment. First, Elizabeth, I just want to ask, this person you just described who took his or her life and was in space, I got to drill on this a little bit. Is it true?
Yeah, I'm gonna find you the actor.
Would you please? Okay, because source is really
I
important.
can't remember his name. And
Okay.
when you see him, you're gonna know him. He's a very, very famous actor. He was very
Hold it. Yeah, karaoke so
he
they
used
can
to
hear.
wear suits. He looked like
Bring this to us, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna yeah. If you can't find
Please,
it,
and we'll put it up because I want to make sure, with such an important statement, that we're dealing in the realm of fact, not in the realm of, internet, social media, make believe. Okay, so that's important. Okay.
you see, technology is not important to me personally.
Okay. But this is great. Now, if you can send that link to Mayreen, and we will put it up on the board, okay? So can you write down your thanks? Okay, great. Now, while we're doing that, I want to create teams because I want to give you all a chance to really work on something together. We'll come back to that. I'm going to call this area, these two couches here, team 1. And I'm going to call this area here team 2. And team 3 and team 4. And I'm going to create 4 teams right now. And let's see how it goes, how big the teams are. And I may have to divide those teams and split the nucleus a little bit.
Yeah, like
William Shatner did not kill himself. He broke down and cried. That's a big difference. Very good.
it inspired.
Very good. He inspired. But no, William Shatner, he's the original Captain Kirk on Star Trek. Did you know that? He's the one, he comes from Montreal. I know quite a bit about William Shatner.
Led him to do it, his interest in it.
No, Jeff Bezos from Amazon wants to beat Elon Musk and Richard Branson and all the other billionaires as being the one who goes furthest in space and commercializes space first. So he asked William Shatner, he gave him the opportunity to create a kind of publicity promotion for his Blue Orbit or venture or whatever it is. So William Shatner, the original Captain Kirk, went up into semi-orbit. He didn't go as far as Jared Isaacman did last week with his spacewalk. He got a view of the planet, and then he came back, and when he came out of the spacecraft with Jeff Bezos right at his side, he spoke to the media, and he was crying and saying, what I saw was like the planet and everything, but he didn't kill himself. He's very much alive. Okay. It was a happy cry. It was a happy cry, yeah. But he didn't kill himself. Okay, good. I just want to make. Okay, but great. He was changed about it. Yeah. And maybe I've misunderstood something in the younger sort of language today, Elizabeth. If you are really moved by something, just the way something is sick, and sick means cool and amazing, it doesn't mean infirm and broken down. Maybe killing yourself means that you've displayed a lot of emotion. Is that? I don't know.
Die.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for first having the courage to come out of there up here and start sharing.
I'm pregnant in 6. I like to sit in the back. If I gotta get up right now and throw up, I don't want to.
It's okay. You've got a real brain going here that can help us.
Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, now, here we go. You are a 1, you are a 2, you are a 3, and you are a 4. If you want to join the activity, you're a 1. Well, just for the moment, okay? You are a 2, you are a 3, and you are a 4. You're a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. All 1s, please gather around these 2 couches right now, okay? Go ahead. All 2s, gather around these 2 couches. All 3s, gather around these couches. And all 4s, come over here. And let's see how this shakes down, okay? We'll get you. You stay. Are you a 4, Faithlin? Okay. So let's get the teams going. And for online, Chanel, Navpreet, and Mukesh are going to be 1 group. Okay. We'll get to you in a moment. Good, Elizabeth. So stay. 4s, we'll get you some stools if you need. Great. And if you need to sit, this is team 1, team 2, team 3, and team 4. And let's just see. I want to check in and make sure the numbers are working. And then I'm going to get you your marching orders. Okay. Grab a seat if you need. Okay. You can take a stool. We're going to have it all happen in the inner circle so that the people online can see clearly and they can engage as well. For the people watching the recording, as they're working on this activity, I'm going to go over to the smartboard and I'm going to tell you a few things, okay? Great. So where's 4? 4 is, yeah, okay. You're 4 too? Okay. Where's 3? You got your group 3? Great. And where's, I don't want to take this from you, Calcia. Okay. Where's 2? 2's, and where's, okay, excellent. And then there's the online group. We got it going. Now, here's what I'd like to do. In a moment, when I say go, I'd like you to spend about 15 minutes having a discussion and even going online to begin to make a little list of what you think is the next big thing coming in tech that's going to affect all of our lives. May come from, maybe it's transportation, maybe it's energy, maybe it's personal devices or information tools, maybe it's something in medical technology. But it's going to be a device, it's going to be a machine that humans have created. And it's actually going to be offered in a very short period of time to people all over the world, more or less. When new tech has been developed historically, the rich often keep it to themselves, but not as much anymore because there is so much access to things today. You will have to think about where that's coming from, but it's going to be as influential as, for example, the personal mobile phone was when it was first invented. Or let's think of another piece of, if we go back into the 20th century and we can imagine what the introduction of the automobile was like, and then radio came along, and then television came along, and there's been aircraft as well. And now we have, in this 21st century, something that people are profoundly concerned about in terms of where this is going for the first time in all of human civilization. It's called AI, and I'm not going to call it artificial intelligence. I'm going to use another term that is being used today by people. It's called alien intelligence. Alien intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not that artificial right now. Machines can learn on their own. This has never happened in human history. We've had the Industrial Revolution, we had steam engines that developed, that if the human gave it an input to do something, it would do exactly what the human asked it to do, the steam engine. Or if it was an oil derrick that went into the ground to get some oil that would then be processed in an internal combustion engine, that oil derrick would not go into the ground unless the human asked it to do that. It's different now. We have this new intelligence, algorithms, AI, or whatever, that you put something in it, it actually can start to come up with something different. And it can actually begin to think more and more. Think is a very strange word, but it can actually perform actions that we never asked it to do because it has some kind of algorithmic intelligence. In 30 years' time, what do you think AI is going to be taking us to? You're going to be alive during that. That's another example. There are lots of exemplars for you to work with. But you're going to have 15 minutes, just a very introductory way. Go online if you want, and then we're going to take up and we'll vote on what we think is going to be the next big thing in tech. Okay? Just in tech. Does that make sense? And I think you already are coming to today's class with a lot in your heads already, because I know you think about these things. We all do now. We have to. Tech is so much a part. Like, the question is, where's it taking us? Try to be realistic in your suggestion. So try and propose or give us something in the take-up that you think has a realistic possibility of becoming something in our lives in the next 30 years. Okay? Great. Question, did I see? Faith Lynn. Anything in tech, any tool that a human makes, human-made machine or tool that's going to give us some new kind of power. That's what these things all do. It just gives us more power. We won't look at how we're going to use this power. That's some kind of other ethical thing. It's what's that powerful new machine, device, tool? What's it going to look like? It's going to happen in our lives, guaranteed. The way things are changing so fast now in tech. Okay, you have until 2:30 or so to work together as your teams, and I'm going to go talk to the guys in the outer space, cosmos. Okay, thanks. Okay, so outer space time. Let's go over to the smart board, and I'll talk to you there. Okay, so Maureen is bringing the camera over, oopsie daisy, to me, and my microphone is working. Great, yeah, nice. So for those of you online right now, you won't hear the discussion, but we will take up the discussion in about 15 minutes together, and you'll hear the other students. But right now, I have, and it looks like Chanel, Navpreet, Mukesh. Okay, three of you. Chanel, could you, in the live chat, just in a 2 or 3 sentences, just write what I just talked about? Just summarize it. Go ahead. Just summarize. I'll try and stay in one place for you, Mavreen. Okay. Yeah, I'll stay over here. Good. So I can see the excellent. Yeah. So while Chanel is thinking about that, Mukesh, I would like to ask you, by way of helping the three of you to work together as a group, Mukesh, what does the next big thing mean? Please write it in the live chat. I'm looking straight at the live chat right now. Go ahead. What does next big thing mean? Let's see who's with us. Mukesh, did you understand my question? Just write, yes, I understand your question. Or are we dealing with a uninhabited planet right now? Ooh, I don't know if Mukesh is there. Okay. Navpreet, are you there? Please stay here. Navpreet? Okay, here we are. Hi, Navpreet. Are you there? Excellent. Oh, excellent. Okay. So, for the three of you right now, you're all here. I would like each of you, each of the three, to give some thought individually about what you think is going to be the next big game changing technology that's going to be invented and then is going to be distributed to people all over the world who go to buy it or might be given it. What might that tech be that's going to change so many people's lives in the way that the cell phone has changed our lives, or in the way that artificial intelligence is beginning to change our lives? What do you think is the next technological big thing coming? Each of you give that thought and then write your answer in the live chat. Do you understand? Okay, so we'll see how that goes. For the students watching the recording, start to think of what you think that tech might be and start to do a little digging online. Go to a website or two. Perhaps you can go to Wired magazine. Okay, here's a really good source. Okay, I'm going to write here for all of you. Wired is a good source. So you could go to a website. It's a magazine, Wired magazine, and they have some really interesting writing and videos and speculation about what technology is going to be in the future. You can use that. Any source that you feel is a good, credible source, go there and think about one or two technological developments that are important for our future. And then give some thought to which one do you think is the next big thing that's coming in 30 years, 20 to 30 years, some kind of technological invention, some kind of machine that's going to affect all of our lives in different ways around the world, but we will all be affected by it. Okay? Great. Let me come over here and take a look, a closer look. Nice, Mukesh. Neuralink. Very good. Very good. Okay. Oh, actually, it might be better to just stand here and talk. Nice. Neuralink is very. Mukesh, here's a big question for you. Who is behind Neuralink? Who is the tech entrepreneur who has created and is supporting Neuralink?
Elon, Elon
Do you know who it
Musk.
is? Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah,
Mukesh, do you think
yes.
Elon Musk can be trusted?
Uh, Trusted है कि नहीं
Do
सर?
you think that he cares about making humanity better? Or is it possible he cares
Sir,
about
I
making a
don't know
lot of
but
money?
भाई वो जिस
What
हिसाब
do you
से
think?
पूछ रहा है ना,
Looking at his like SpaceX and Tesla, which are like very environment friendly, like जैसे बैटरी वो जो बैटरी वाली कार बना रहा है ना, या मेरे को दे दे मैं बता दूँ.
sir, I don't know, no,
The next big thing might very
he,
well be
he is doing,
embedded chips in people's
but
brains.
he's
Oh,
doing good work
but
for the
is
environment
that
by
really
making
good for
Tesla car.
humanity?
By but he is doing
The-
good work for environment, for
Great.
in
Okay,
But
so
in
keep
Tesla
thinking,
नहीं कार
Chanel.
environments by make
through Tesla
Try and
environments
put what you
through
think
Tesla,
might be the next
through
big thing in there in the live chat, and
Tesla.
same with
and
Napri.
he's also
Great,
saving,
this is working.
He is
Okay,
and he's also
we've got
investing,
our
how
teams.
investing
Excellent.
investing
a lot of
Good work.
a lot of
efforts in
efforts in
making
You know what I might do for here for
renewable
now is
rockets.
let me
making
bring up the rack
Reusable
PC, and maybe we will loop
rockets.
another video from the Repair Cafe
Yes.
site, something visually interesting. Because there are a lot of videos. Ooh, here we go, eh? Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, yeah. So we got a problem. This thing is not.
The sound that keeps because it keeps connecting and disconnecting. That
Yeah.
sound's always playing. Yeah.
Okay.
Mukesh says, sir, I don't know, but he's doing good work for environment through Tesla. He's also investigating a lot of efforts in making reusable rockets.
Mm. Okay, good, Mukesh. Mukesh, are you aware that Elon Musk owns X? He bought Twitter and let's okay. Where's that video I have? Oh, I know where it is. Repair Cafe Toronto. Here we are. This is the interview I did with. Yeah, these young, they're good. These are the Scarborough Repair Cafe. I'm gonna run that and I'll kill the audio. Okay, so it's is it? Yeah, we got it definitely. This is yeah. I'll talk to the guys. Okay. Anyways, when this is working, can you just full screen it, silent, and just loop it, okay? Yeah, good. Another 5 minutes. Keep going. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's it. Three minutes, and we're going to take it up, okay? 3 minutes, get ready, and online as well. We're going to take up your ideas. Mukesh, would you be ready to read out loud what you've written in the live chat? Is your microphone working? Can you do that? Not
Yes,
right
sir.
now,
Yeah.
but be ready, okay? We'll see. I think I may need a new battery. Okay. I think we'll be all right. Okay. If not, don't worry. We will read it out loud, okay, ourselves. But just know that we will be including you in the class. Okay, 60 seconds. Okay. I might need a new. I'll leave this. Okay. It's okay. It's okay to argue and disagree. It's to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, but just try to, respect each other. It sounds like you are. Okay. Yeah. Passion. Yeah. Good. Okay. Okay. But my experience is humans generally like to talk a lot, but they don't listen very well. And I'm speaking of myself, by the way, too. So anyway, it's just an observation.
Conversation can happen without it being an argument, but I can understand your perspective. And I'm a big believer in agree to disagree. But also, we're in a group conversation. My point is, what is our stance?
Yep.
What is our
Yeah.
thing? Because my whole thing is not anti-technology.
You are
I'm not
anti-technology. You're not anti.
anti-technology.
Okay.
I'm saying
Yeah.
our thing should be hollow because it's more than a one column question.
Fair enough. But we only have 90 minutes, and
Everybody needs technology. Y'all need it, and that is just not the reality. So
okay.
I don't agree with that, respectfully.
All right. Okay. Are you ready for take up? Because we want to put something on the smart board, some ideas, and then we want to vote on what you think is really coming. Okay. And City on Mars will remain here, and I will come to that a little bit later. But what you see right now on our big dashboard, we're going to take this up, everybody. So those of you watching the recording later, please make sure that you've finished any research that you were doing and you're back now with this discussion. On the dashboard right now, the big dashboard, Maureen has put up looped a video silently of two young people in Scarborough who are running the repair cafe there, and it's become quite successful. I did a little interview with them. That's me holding my iPhone at Christie Pitts in Toronto last summer for our 10th anniversary party of Repair Cafe. And I think it's Kristen and get her name, but they are really super motivated. Chris and Fizza, yeah, right, Scarborough Environmental Association. And they really have been taking it upon themselves to apply some of the ideas of Repair Cafe and run their own on their own. Just the way I'm hoping that we can get one going in Durham College. So anyways, I'll leave them up there for now because who knows, it could be you doing these here at Durham College. So I'm going to go over to the smart board while Maureen is still DJing the information here. And let's get some ideas up here, okay, of what you think is going to be coming. And we'll go into the live chat as well, but take up time. And I'm trying to get these notes working better for you because a PDF will be available for you in the class folder on DC Connect. You can use these for your reflections and for your assignments. These are important notes. So, okay, Maureen's brought the cameras. So I'm speaking to the guys out there in outer space, and I'm on the spaceship. I'm here with our crew. William Shatner would like that language, being Captain Kirk once upon a time. Okay, so I'm going to make this, I'm going to squeeze people a little bit now, and I'm going to actually go around to the groups. So group one, team one, somebody from team one, please take a microphone. And here's going to be the pressure part. You have to stand beside the podium and speak. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have to speak. So you're talking now to people. You're teaching. And just give your name, okay? You just what you pick, and then what's your name?
So my name is Tariq, but you
How
guys
do you spell it?
T-Y.
T.
Y.
T. Oh, you're Tyreek. Sorry, Tyreek McKenzie. Okay.
Yeah.
Q-U-E. I know from. Okay. So
say Ty.
Tyreek, and Tyreek is team one.
Number one.
Team one. Okay. So Tyreek, what do you think? You just tell us, and then I'll help you kind of distill it down to a few words.
So the first thing we picked was like most obviously AI for sure. Like
Yep.
the biggest worry with AI was like kids growing up on AI, they're not gonna learn a thing for themselves because they just put in the computer. The computer kind of thinks for them, and it turns into like other stuff because it kind of regurgitates the opinion of like what other people put in for the AI to learn.
Yep.
And then the next thing he said was VR, virtual reality, might be the next thing that might change our lives.
What will it be?
Virtual reality.
Virtual reality. It's coming in virtual reality. Okay, let's drill down a little bit. And what might this thing be doing?
We haven't thought about the AI one. We didn't
It's
go
okay.
the VR one, but basically kind of similar to cell phones. Hopefully not as bad, but just headsets, and they want to simulate kind of like the real world and whatever they want, kind of thing. Like kind of a form of escapism, kind of like that for entertainment, but it's like a lot more dangerous since you have a whole headset on, and there's been reports of nausea and stuff like that.
Okay, fair.
I think that could be like a next big thing, especially for entertainment.
Excellent. Okay, and thank you for standing up there and holding the microphone. And so, is the purpose of this thing that's coming entertainment?
For VR, I want to say mainly entertainment as like the biggest danger, but AI definitely like for jobs and stuff is like the biggest worry. Like I'm taking graphic design, and I'm worried that AI is going to be like the next thing, and then I'm not like I just did all this work for nothing because the computer
Okay.
work better.
But is it fair for me to say, for virtual reality, this big thing that's coming, it's going to be about entertainment?
Mainly like entertainment. So,
okay, well, that's fair enough. Let's just put that here for now, okay? Entertainment. And Tyreek, can you do me a favor, and could you give the mic to somebody from Team 2 to go up, and can we just give Tyreek a little hand for, thank you. Okay. Way to go. Way to go. It's not easy, okay, to get up there. Colin? Go ahead, tell us. Karaoke, talk into the microphone, okay? So it's Colin, okay? and it's team two. Excellent. Okay. So, what it is, and then the purpose.
So I was looking into this before even started this class because I like to learn about this stuff. But I got really interested into the evolution of fusion reactors
Oh, this is
as
energy.
a power supply.
This is cool. This is the sun now. So nuclear fusion.
Fusion reactor.
Okay, would you explain that to those people who don't know? Because there will be some.
Okay.
Okay, fusion reactor.
Okay. So I'll explain why, because some people might think that we already have this, but we don't.
Okay,
What we have right now is fission. Fission is the splitting of the atom. It's like
splitting.
nuclear, all that stuff.
Wrench it apart, and then all this energy.
The fusion reactor merges the
Push them together.
atoms.
Yeah.
And the reason why we don't have this yet is because it's super bloody hard, and because this is the stuff that happens at the center of a sun.
Yeah.
Like, and the only reason the sun can do this is because it has such a giant gravitational force and can pressurize it too. We can't do that, so we have to superheat it to 100 million degrees.
So
a plasma ball.
So basically, what you're saying is the next big thing is going to be that humans can actually recreate the heat and power from the sun's fusion process to give humanity an unlimited source of clean energy. Yes?
We have. There is a lab from K-Star in Korea that has already broken the previous record of 30 seconds in 2021. In 2023, they ran their fusion reactor for 48 seconds, and I don't know. Yeah, they did, but I don't know what they produced. But there was another one as well in Oxford.
Yeah.
They ran it for 5 seconds. They made 69 megajoules of energy. And just to put that into perspective, 69 megajoules of energy can run 12,000 homes for the same amount of time.
Entertainment.
And
scroll.
One of
We all do.
One of the biggest reasons why we need fusion reactors is they produce 4 times more than a fission reactor.
Wow. How far are
No
we?
waste.
How many years out are we from actually making this work and affordable, and then being able to get that energy stored and distributed to all of humankind? How many approximately? What do you think?
Well, the lab in Korea says that their goal is to hit 300 seconds or 5 minutes by 2026.
2026. And then if they hit it, what happens in 2026? What would happen if they hit it?
You'd have to wait till they hit it, but I can see this happening in the next 30 years, hopefully.
Would it not be absolutely awesome to be living in a world where energy to run all our machines and our cars and our planes and our tools caused no damage to the environment, did not cause wars, was not dirty, but was clean? Oh, man.
Also, another thing with fusion reactors is they produce way more less nuclear waste. A fission reactor can produce radioactive waste that'll last centuries, like hundreds upon hundreds.
But a fusion reactor.
No, a fission reactor.
Yeah.
What we have now.
Yeah.
They produce hundreds upon hundreds of, well, not hundreds.
A lot of waste.
No, they produce waste that can last hundreds upon hundreds of years. The fusion reactor only produces waste that can last a couple 10 years.
Yeah, that's
20. So much less, and it's much
exactly
cleaner.
So fusion is cleaner than
Yes.
fission.
And also it produces more, which makes it so that it's actually feasible for us to switch to electricity, because that's also one of the things that's limiting electric cars, is because fission doesn't
Wow.
produce enough.
And fission, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure fission was the atomic bomb. Think about how dirty that is. The atomic bomb. Fusion is something else entirely. Yeah, the bringing together of the atoms. Wow, I'm dreaming of this
Who wants
and
this next?
thinking, I want to get to the rest of the teams. Let's do this, and then we'll conclude quickly. But thank you, Colin, for that, and for Team 2 for that. Ethan, oh yeah, let's give it. Thank you. Way to go. Team 3, and what's your name again? Ethan. Yeah. Hold on a second. I've got it. So let me just get my tech working here, and let's go to Ethan. Team 3. Ethan, take it away.
So we started off with AI. I'm just talking about that, but we honed it down to I don't know if any of you guys have heard about it, but the Neuralink from Tesla.
We got it in the live chat too. Okay, good. Go ahead.
The Neuralink from Tesla. I mean, it's technically already here and it's being tested, but we sort of went a little bit deeper. We talked about, like, for examples, how it can be incorporated.
Yes.
This goes well with Team One's example there with virtual reality. If you sort of combine the two, you can almost make it like when you're in virtual reality, feel pain in real time, the feelings like wind, right?
Yes.
So it can be used not only as entertainment, but like training or just escaping. That was one example, like feeling virtual reality real time.
Yes.
Stuff like that. But the other example that we had was sort of like a personal assistant. So think Jarvis from Iron Man, but inside your brain, right?
Jarvis from Iron Man inside your brain. That's Neuralink? Is that the chip?
In 30 years. I think
Okay.
if you incorporate AI with the Neuralink, like let's say you get an elevated heart rate, right? It would talk to you saying, hey, you have an elevated heart rate. You need to sort of tone it down, relax, stuff like that. Like,
But Neuralink itself, as we would define it, is a chip embedded in the brain.
yeah,
It's a chip embedded in the brain. Okay. And we know from what Elon Musk has said that he's working on that. But the information has been he's been holding that information very closely. But there have been tests that have been done where this has been. What's the purpose of this, Ethan? This chip, as McAllister described it, that's inserted here. How is that going to help humanity?
from what I know, I mean, like in terms of Elon Musk, I don't know too much about it, but I think his goal is to solve a lot of the health issues. I know I was looking at an article that apparently is supposed to allow, like, if you didn't have vision before, once it was implanted, apparently this was tested.
Yes.
It actually allowed them to see again, or allowed somebody to play a video game without actually using their hands. So I think it's going to result in hopefully
Reduce disability or even eliminate disability.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hoping it would result in a lot of health benefits for us. But I think it can be taken even further, like I said, into
Yeah.
education and entertainment.
Sure, sure. Okay. I'd love to continue because we're really getting going and this is excellent. We're running out of time. I'm going to suggest, for the sake of time, and I want to give everyone a chance, could we just take a couple of minutes for Team 4 to give us theirs, get it into the notes, and then next week, when we review, I'll make sure we come back to these 4 things and kind of drill down on them a little bit and vote, okay? Because we're just running out of time. Team 4. Somebody from Team 4, take the microphone. Vanch? It's Vanch, right? Way to go, Ethan. Thank you. Okay. So let's make sure. So Ethan, Neuralink, Chip, Vanch, VANSH. Go ahead, Team 4.
I just wanted to say, like, even we are talking about technology, we were really far away from the technology, like in the beginning. Even the fire, we used our heat stoves and something like that. Even that's invented. Otherwise, it's used to be from stones.
Yes.
If you know about Stone Age, that used to be like from stone, we have to create fire. Everything is like technology. We evolved, like the humans, we just evolved. And even like they were arguing about like piercing, it can't be made from hands. Even for that, we have to get some fire for that, heat
Yep.
up the iron. It can't be possible for us if we don't have like the heat.
For sure. For sure.
So they
From
were
Flint. I used to watch the Flintstones a lot when I was a kid. I love that show. Flint, you just, you start to get some kind of spark and you can get fire. But humans make all sorts of things from nature. Absolutely. And it gives us a lot of power.
Because even the water we can see in our taps, it's coming because of the technology. We have generated pipes, the wind energy that supplies us electricity. That's why we
Absolutely.
are here, and sort of things. And
So, what do you think is coming in 20 to 30 years? It's going to be like what you've just described, but it's going to be new.
to be honest, I think it's going to be worse for us.
It's going to be worse.
Yeah, I think so. Because human, like robots, gonna take over on us. They can rebuild their self. They can make their self. They don't get any injury. They just need like the electricity. They just can make their self alive for like not even 100, for 1,000, 2,000 years, I guess.
Yes.
And it's evolving every time.
Well, then I'm putting this in the notes. And we're going to review this at the beginning of next class when we start to look at. Yes, please do. And then I'm going to conclude. But I put in the notes just so you're clear because I want to make sure it's accurate. It's going to come from robotics, and it's going to be worse. It's not going to be good for humans. We'll talk about that next week, okay? For sure.
I just wanted to say one
But
thing.
go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, that was like from our culture. That's Hinduism. That was the first culture that evolved, like was made, you can say. And there is one line Krishna ji said,
Yes.
"Parivartan hi sansar ka niyam hai." That we have to evolve with the time. That's mandatory for each and every human. If we don't evolve ourselves, it's going to be worse for us. We have to.
So
It's mandatory.
wouldn't a development in robotics
Yeah.
be evolving with our time? So wouldn't that be good?
Yeah, we have to evolve, because if you see right now, people used to never used like phones and television before, like
Yes.
20 to 30 years ago. They can develop the software for that. For the robotics, they can develop softwares, and we have to evolve. Eventually, we have to. It's the mandatory thing.
It's great, Vanch, what you're saying. And actually, I'm going to leave you with a question, and then we will conclude, okay? And you may remember, discussion board 4 is open. Post your question in there. I've got your names. If we're going to evolve, which we will, not just because Krishna has said, but because that's the way the world has been going. It's evolving and evolving, and I can talk a lot about that, but I will only ask you this. Are each and every one of you ready for the changes that are coming? Just think about that. Are you ready for the change?
For me, it's not. I'm not ready.
Are you ready for the evolution? Well, I just want you to think about it. I just want you to think about it for next week. Are you ready for the evolution? It's something's coming. Or will you resist it? Will you fight it, not use it, get depressed about it? Or actually become empowered by using it in a way that's going to make your life better? These are big questions. You got to grapple with these things. Okay, I got to leave you because it's 5 minutes over. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Vanch, for the final comments. And for those of you in the live chat, we'll take this up next week, okay? Great. See you next week. I'll save the notes, okay? Yeah. Yeah, let me just turn off the microphone so you don't, students.